Okay, I'm over here test fitting this thing. So, I mean, it's coming out really square. I mean, I can just, I mean, I wish I could get that closed a little more, but keep moving the damn thing. I mean, it's just the slightest little bit of light coming through at the very top, and it's really not. It's from about the 4-inch up to the 7. I'm sitting on this 3/4 inch piece of key stock. I found enough material to get it spaced, clamped it all together just so I have the same distance here and here, and got lucky, and that's a piece of key stock, so it's pretty square. It's touching up here at the very tip top, but there's just like a low. It could be because I cleaned all the mill scale off, so it could be a excuse me. This could be just a low spot. I'll get the old welder out and tack it together, and then I just put those 2 clamps on it and shoved that back against the angle, and actually did better on the gap. I got so many clamps on it, I don't know where to weld. Yep, I'll get my welder set up and I'll be back. These will get cut off. And get some more tacks in here and around. One more out here. Tack, tack, tack. You never have enough tacks. One break. There's that little tiny tack I put on. Yeah, as soon as this gets hot, I'll probably set it outside, let it cool down. I don't want to get it all blistering hot and then it starts moving and then you keep welding. As soon as you start putting some heat in it, stop. I mean, this could take hours actually to weld. I'm going to let it cool down, weld a little more, just skip all over the place and keep cooling it down. and it won't warp so bad. I really need like an 035 wire in it. I think there's 024 or something right now for doing sheet metal for doing body work and stuff on cars. I wouldn't have to turn it up. You know, I need it actually a little hotter. I'd like to get a hotter burn. I mean, it works. You know, I cleaned everything up. I mean, it's welding beautiful. Just got it a little too hot for an 024 wire. I'm just letting it puddle, but you just got to move fast. I mean, I can see it penetrating pretty deep, so I'm not too worried about that. Well, the welding's done and it's cooled now for a couple hours. It probably took me not quite 3 hours of just welding a little bit and letting it cool and then going back to it. I think it turned out pretty good because I knew it needed to pull back going off of my Starrett square. So I basically, before I welded this bottom outside, I put tacks everywhere and checked it to see if it was pulling, and it was, but it only pulled so far because of the gussets, because I already had those tacked. And then I burned all this in one big pass right down here, trying to get it to pull back, and the gap closed. I hope not more than what I wanted, but you know, I haven't really no way to check it now because of the weld down here. But I mean, I'll try to get you handheld. I got shaky hands anymore, but I did run out of wire, and I went and got some 30 thousandths wire. It was 024 in it. I put 030 in it. That there kind of looks like crap, but that's all going to get machined off. I just made sure that V groove was real deep. There's just a lot of weld that's going to get ground off. But it ought to hold it. I'm going to do some checking on the mill. You know, once I get it on the mill, I kind of lop these off with a cut-off wheel for now, and I'll machine these off, and then I'll cut down into here with the cut-off wheel or whatever and fill that in with weld to machine these two butt joints. But once I get this machined off and get this machined off to where I can check it, we'll see how close it is, and then I'm probably gonna, as soon as Mama goes to work, or maybe next Saturday if she goes shopping, I'm gonna throw this in the oven to take it up to, I might put it on like maybe the self-cleaning cycle. That gets up around 550 degrees. I need to get this up there, you know, that high, 450 or better, for, you know, a couple hours, and then let it cool real slow. I need to stress relieve it because there's a lot of pressure in here. So if I go machining this now, even I know, being a welder, I know this will move. Since it's solid welded, it needs stress relieved. You need to bring it up to a real hot temperature and let it relax, and then let it cool real slow. Then it'll all become one piece of metal, because right now there's just pressure everywhere on the welds. So I could machine that thing, take it somewhere, have it ground, it'd be perfect. It would only be perfect for, you know, maybe 3 or 4 months before, you know, you had a couple tenths from here to here. you know, it will move over time, so it will need stress relieved. So I'll do that after I get, like I said, get this machined off and machine this off and maybe try to check it, do some checking on it, and then I'll throw it in the oven and bake it. Okay, I had it setting in, well, you just saw the video clip, but snuck it in the house and threw it in the oven, turned it up about as high as it would suffer, and it stayed in there for 2 hours at 550 degrees. And I was misunderstood, went reading the temperature settings. I was seeing Celsius, and it should have been Fahrenheit, which should be around 1,000+ degrees for, you know, an hour per inch. So it being 5/8 thick, it would have been, you know, at 1,000+ for, you know, 40 minutes, 45 minutes. But it was in there for 550 for 2 hours. Then I brought it out to my shop and put it inside my wood stove and just packed wood all the way around it. It came up to, was starting to turn red, so I know it had to be over 800 degrees or better in there. And it basically sat in there all night. You know, I put it in there at about 11:30 last night, and I set my alarm and came back out and packed it full of wood at about 3 o'clock in the morning and let it set till I just took it out. I took it out about an hour ago, you know, and wrapped it in some kale wool I have. I'm getting ready to build next project, build me a little furnace. But yeah, it's hot and it's blued. It came out a lot darker out of the oven in the house, but sitting in there overnight, once I wiped everything off of it, I'm gonna let it cool real slow and hope it relaxed somewhat. I don't think it got over 1,000 degrees in there, but it sat in the oven, the oven in the house, it sat there for 2 hours, and then it came out here for over 6 hours at, you know, 800+ probably. So I'd say it relaxed somewhat. I mean, you know, if it moves later on down the road, you know, I'll retemper it, you know, because I am gonna build me an oven or something here, so I know definitely how big I need to make it, at least to fit that inside. I thought about wrapping it up in that kale wool and then using my rosebud torch and just getting that sucker just hotter than crap, but I don't trust doing that because you get too much heat in certain areas. It needs to be intense heat all the way around it. So I'm just gonna go with what I got, machine it, and then maybe check it in a few weeks and see if it's moved any. So, well, that's where I'm at right now. Just gonna let it cool, and you know, we'll get it on the mill.